Hello, my name is Rodney. I am from the pOedGamerQuehegan YouTube channel, and today I'm going to show my recent pickups. And I didn't actually think this month was going to be a very good month, but actually it's pretty good. Actually, last month of March. So first, these really are not video game or board game related, but these are things I started picking up a few years ago, and I like putting them together because I love Legos. But these are a little bit more challenging because they're so small. But they are nano blocks. Got these for got two of these for $5. Got this one, which is a building from Japan that I cannot pronounce. But yeah, it's actually these are very fun to put together if you like Legos because they're a little bit smaller and so it doesn't spread out all over the entire table. I also got another one. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce this because it is just another language that I'm not very good at, so I don't want to butcher it. But these two are actually very fun to put together. They take a little while to get used to because the pieces are so small. If you have like a big tray or bin or something that's kind of thin, I'd recommend putting them together on that because these pieces are round. They will the smaller ones will roll off your table and you will lose them. But these are very fun. Okay, now we'll move to the board games because I only got 3 of those. It's called Sturgeon. This is a card game just about fish. You're going around eating fish to get bigger and things like that. It's just a really cool, it even says it takes 30 minutes. I've never actually had a game this last more than probably 15, 20 at the most. Very fun, just quick filler game if you're waiting on some people to show up. It supports up to 5 players. I've only ever played it with 3 at the most. It might get better if you play it more, I'm not sure, but great filler game. Okay. This Cigars, I'm not sure if that's how the proper way you say it, but this was $2 on the shelf at a used bookstore. I thought, what the heck, I'll pick it up. It actually has all the pieces in it. It's a solo player game. It's for 1 to 5 players, and sometimes I do play some solo board games. And I was like, hey, I'll pick it up, try it, and see how it is. I haven't tried it yet, but as soon as I do try it, I'll let everybody know what I think. Okay, the last board game, well, it's not really a board game, it's more of an expansion to a board game, is for Formula D. If you've never played Formula D or Formula Day, I think, which is the original version, I highly recommend this board game. It's a racing game. Basically, you have a giant track and you go around the board. Great fun. This is just another track. This is a Chicago Fast Pack. So I think it was $5, and I was like, hey, most of the time you see these are $15, $20, and it's just another track. But I highly recommend this. Well, not this, but the board game. Alright, now we're going to move into the video games. First, found 2 Game Gear games at a yard sale. Got them for $1 each. Got Streets of Rage, the original, for the Game Gear. I love Streets of Rage 2 on the Sega Genesis. I've never played this one. I'm going to be playing, this is something I'll probably be playing here very soon, but I love the Sega Genesis version, so hoping that this version will be good too. And I got this one, which is called Garfield Caught on the Act. It actually had the case on it for just like $1, and I was like, hey, I'll pick it up. If it's a bad game, I like Garfield. It'd just be good for just something to add to my collection. Found something that I was actually surprised to find. I have a few of the cards, and I actually have another one of these. But I saw this at the same yard sale I got that from, those 2 games, and they had 50 cents on it, and they didn't have any of the cards. But that is the Game Boy Ereader. And it's basically, if you don't know what this is, it has like a card reading slot here. There's barcodes on these packs. You buy packs of cards, and the cards would have barcodes on them, and you could swipe them and play retro games on it. Wasn't the greatest invention, but it was actually kind of cool. I think I have Excite Bike and Donkey Kong, that you basically, it's like 3 or 4 cards you'd slide across and the little reader here, and you could actually play them on your Game Boy. This does make your Game Boy kind of top heavy, because when you're playing it, it's kind of pulls it down a little bit. But it's kind of a cool find. It actually really worked. I was like, for 50 cents, I'll take a shot. But it really worked. Okay. Next, go to more of a modern handheld, and that is Resident Evil: The Mercenaries 3D. I'm a big fan of Resident Evil games. Saw this at the used bookstore. I picked it up. It was $9. I actually checked the Amazon prices and things like that, and they were, this is actually cheaper, so I picked it up. Played it some. Not the greatest game. The controls are a little clunky, but I'm hoping once I get further in the game, it might get better, because I'm still just on the first two, like the first tutorial levels, where you basically go around and you touch these lighted sticks to get used to the controls. Hoping it'll get better when I actually start fighting and the story comes into it. But I was happy to get that, because I'm trying to get at least one of each Resident Evil game. So I'm not really trying to collect like all versions, just one of each. Okay. This to add to my Sega CD collection, which I think this is supposed to be a bundle game, I'm not sure. But it's called Sewer Shark. I've heard everybody say this is a horrible game. But I was like, oh, cool, but it's got the game, and it's got the manual. Then I started looking at the manual closer. I don't know if you can see it right here. That's supposed to be the Sega logo. Whoever previously owned this game cut the manual down so that it would fit inside of a jewel case. And when I got it home, I paid 50 cents for the game. I think I paid, maybe $1, but it was really, it was at the used bookstore. It's really cheap, and I was like, wow, that kind of disappointed me. But from what reviews I've read about the game, it's not going to actually hurt the value that much, because it's not very expensive. Okay. Now let's move to the NES. I've been looking around for NES games that I rented when I was younger and never bought for some reason, because the NES isn't what the game I really collected for when I was a kid. I never kept in my boxes, which really disappoints me. I wish I'd have kept all of my boxes, but I didn't. But these two do not have the boxes, but I rented this game probably at least once a month, called Spy vs. Spy. Me and my brother would play it. It's from the Mad magazine. If you've ever read that, there's a white spy and a black spy, and they go around trying to kill each other. And this, you're going around, you're trying to get these different items, and then trying to leave this room. Well, not the room, but this building. The first one to get out wins. Well, the thing is you can actually plant bombs and traps inside things. So if you're walking around and you start looking for these plans and stuff, and you open a drawer that has a bomb in it, it'll kill you. You can actually put like electric water above doors. And if you walk through the door that has that on it, water falls on you and kills you. But you can get an umbrella, walk through it, and the water fall on the umbrella, and your character will laugh. And it's really fun. After you've played it, one single player is not that fun. It's best with two players. Okay. I also got another game that I played. I think I played in the arcades, if I remember correctly, but it is Kung Fu. You're just side-scrolling, you're walking around just kicking people. It's just, what can you say? It's just fun to go around kicking people. Okay, and I picked up another game for the NES that was boxed. I've actually really never heard of, and I actually looked online before I bought it to read some reviews of it, and people said it's an interesting game. It's called Shinjin the Ruler. I've got this in the box, complete. It has the manuals and all the little cards and everything with it. I was very happy about that. Haven't played too much of it yet. I put it in, looked at it, and it looks like I need to read the rule book. So I kind of turned it off at that point. I'm going to read the rule book and actually do some research on it to see exactly how to play it before I play it. This actually just on the front box is the finest in the strategic games. So I'm hoping that this will be a good game that I can actually show some video of here soon. And the last game that I picked up is for the Sega CD that I left the sticker on. which I did not mean to do. But yeah, I'm one of those people that when I buy a game, I take the stickers off of them if I can. Most of the time, I can get them off. They like even with the new modern ones with the plastic front, WD-40 is really good at that. Or actually, vegetable oil. Just take the insert out and make sure that you don't get the vegetable oil behind the label. But this one I got NBA Jam for the Sega CD. It's actually a pretty good game. I played this game in the arcade a lot. I wasted so much money on this. Between this and Mortal Kombat, I probably spent enough money on these two machines to buy them. So, yeah, this basically, when it first came out in the arcade, it would log your wins. You put your initials in, and I think it's your date of birth, your birthday, and you actually, every time you played it, kept your win-loss record on that one machine. And it is great because if you put certain names in, it would unlock special characters. At one time, you could be some of the Mortal Kombat characters like Raiden, and I can't remember if it's Raiden, but I know that Sub-Zero and Scorpion were in it. But then they released later versions, and they took those characters out, which kind of didn't sit with me because Sub-Zero is my favorite character from Mortal Kombat. But yeah, this is a very good game. It's arcade basketball. You run down and you do like a really fantastic dunk. Like you'll jump way up in the air, spin around, or just do some really crazy stuff. But highly recommend this game. Not sure if this is the best version or if it's another thing. But the arcade, if you can find an arcade game for NBA Jam, play it. It's phenomenal. But that's my recent pickups. I hope you guys enjoyed them. I know I'm going to enjoy the playing them. If you guys have any other pickups that you've done, post down in the comments. Let me know what you've found recently. I'm trying to gather up places that I go because we actually have my retro gaming store that I used to go to. It moved out of state, and then I found another retro gaming store that doesn't have the best prices. Be the easiest way to say it. I found this game for $2. I went there the same day when I found out about that store, and I think they were selling like sports games, like not like arcade sports games, but like the regular generic sports games for like $12, $13, $14. And they had the very common NES games. I think the cheapest one was $6. So they were using eBay prices, and so I'm probably never going to go back there. And it's just really hard to find places to find retro stuff. I mean, yard sales and pawn shops pretty much are what I've been finding on that now recently. But if you guys have any places that you go, oh yeah, there's actually a lot of people go to swap meets, but I actually don't have really many swap meets or things like that around this area. I don't really get up that early to go to them. But if you actually can go, there's some that are probably within an hour away from my house that actually have a large selection, but most of them are resellers, so they have eBay prices also. But yeah, if you guys have any secret spots that you go to, post them down in the comments, and I'll see if we can not make them so secret anymore. But until next time.